to you. Mr. Kumar, my friend Kataria and his team, which is sitting all over here, too numerous for me to name them. And friends, on a Sunday, you have come here, setting aside your leisure to hear about what's going on in India and what is going to be the scenario. Technically 2014, but it could be earlier, it could be in October also. One thing is certain, that 2014 or earlier, there will be a new government. There's no way, there's no hope by which the present dispensation can come back re-elected. There was a hope about 2-3 months ago because of the electronic voting machine. But I had gone to the Supreme Court. I convinced the Supreme Court that this machine can be tampered with. The Supreme Court asked me, give us some modification of this machine by which you can be reasonably certain that it cannot be tampered with. So I suggested that the electronic voting machine should have a screen on which who you voted for should appear along with the election symbol when you press the button, and a voter receipt must be printed, which should be dropped into a box, and that box will be the box that will be counted in case there is a dispute about the results. The Supreme Court then directed the government to make these modifications, and on the 10th of May, the Election Commission held a demonstration of before all political parties to show what the machine would look like, and all political parties approved it. And so now for Ms. Sonia Gandhi, there is no hope even by rigging to come back to power. Today is a happy coincidence of a day when Narendra Modi has been named the chairman of the campaign committee of the BJP. I am a member, I am president of the Janata Party, which is a member of the NDA, in which the dominant party is the BJP. And I am very happy about it. And let me say, this is not a forerunner to his being named as the Prime Minister, because this is a de facto declaration that Modi is the candidate for Prime Minister in the next election. And why do I say that? I say that because when you become campaign committee chairman, then which candidate should be encouraged or helped by people going to campaign in his constituency, how much money should be sent to him. All these will be decided by the chairman, and therefore every candidate who gets elected will owe some deep depth of gratitude to the chairman. Moreover, the demand for Modi is so high that every candidate wants him anyway to come to his constituency, and therefore when all the MPs come to Delhi, there is no doubt who will be elected to be the Prime Minister of the country. I have no doubt in my mind, with the present trends continuing, that in the next Lok Sabha election you will see a government headed by Narendra Modi. And we have been lucky in the past of getting strong, good leaders from Gujarat. First Sardar Patel, and then Morarji Desai, and now both Morarji Desai and Sardar Patel combined will be Narendra Modi, who will transform this country. He is coming with a track record of having transformed Gujarat, and we look forward to his transforming India. What is India? Geographically, of course, Professor Vinod of Odam University, who is also here, has put up a map here. I asked him why he's putting it there. He said because most people don't know what the map of India looks. Because they got used to Americans cutting the head off, some people cutting the tail off, etc. But this is the modern Republic of Bharat. But one day this map will be Akhand Bharat, Akhand Hindustan, and that day is not far off. I today would like to begin my talk about political trends by simplifying the subject and mentioning 5 different political trends. Of 3, they are depressing political trends, and 2 which are encouraging political trends. But I'm sure, judging by the experience of India, we will overcome these depressing trends. We Indians in conversation tend to be very pessimistic and very dismissive. But if you look at the record of India, it is a country which has overcome all the difficulties and moved on to a new level. I have heard young students tell me that India, anyone who came from abroad, he attacked India, looted India, ruled India, and we submitted to it. This is not correct history. This is the history which the British have put into the books, which require amendment, which require revision. In fact, the first time my eyes opened to this fact was when a Saudi Arabian student of mine at Harvard wanted to speak to me after class on a question which he had received from his home university in Jeddah, and he wanted me to answer that question. So after class, when I met him, he asked me the question. He said that we in Saudi Arabia are studying Islamic conquests of different parts of the world. And one thing which bothers us, for which we don't have an answer, is that although when Islam went and conquered Iran, it converted the whole of Iran into 100% Muslim country within 15 years. Muslims conquered Mesopotamia, Babylon, which is now known as Iraq. In 17 years, they converted it into 100% Muslim. Egypt was converted to 100% Muslim in 21 years. Christians converted Europe in 50 years to 100% Christian. But India was ruled for 800 years by the Muslims, 200 years by the Christians, and you are still 80%. How is this possible for the Hindus to have achieved this? Then if you study the history of India deeper, then you know that the Hindus kept fighting all through. Some of them lost, but they gave up everything, but they did not yield. Rana Pratap, he fought the Mughals and lost everything, went to the forest, and there he spent his life taking grass, drying it and making it to paste and eating chapatis made out of grass. That was the state he was reduced to. When he was in that state, his cousin Man Singh from Jaipur came to him and said, I have a message from Akbar. If you accept that Akbar is the Pacha of India, the Emperor of India, then Akbar will return everything to you, your palace, everything in Udaipur. I have done that and I am living very comfortably. You also please do this. So he said, no, I will not accept Akbar as the Emperor of India. To which his cousin said, what will you get out of this obstinacy? You are going to spend the rest of your life eating ghas ki roti. What will you get out of it? He says, I will get out of this the following, that future mothers will name their sons after Rana Pratap, but in your name they will spit. That's enough for me. And you find this valor all over India. Rani Jhansi, Subhash Chandra Bose in the recent period. Go to Tamil Nadu, Kattabomman, who was hanged by the British in the middle of the street. Go to Karnataka, Rani Chennamma. And there were also Hindu fighters who won and held their ground. The Vijayanagara Empire covered more ground. They were more area under their control than the Mughals had. They lasted longer also. 300 years. What is the length from Akbar to Aurangzeb, which is roughly the core period of the Mughals? 150 years. Shivaji, he also was victorious. So in my opinion, one of the problems with us Indians is that in our pessimism we fail to understand the truth of what India. 1947, everybody said India's independence won't last long. In fact, Winston Churchill spoke in Parliament and he said in 3 years the Indians will come crawling to us requesting us to come back. None of that happened. Similarly, we were during Jawaharlal Nehru's 17 years and Indira Gandhi's 16 years as Prime Minister, we had a rate of growth of only 3.5% per year. People used to call it the Hindu rate of growth. How was it a Hindu rate of growth? When Chandrasekhar became Prime Minister and I became the Commerce and Law Minister, I prepared the blueprints which the successor government of Narasimha Rao implemented, and I was also made a minister in that government. And in no time, this 3.5% rate of growth went to 9% growth rate. The credit, of course, should be given to Narasimha Rao, but unfortunately, media gave the credit to Manmohan Singh because that's what Sonia Gandhi wanted. Sonia Gandhi was very angry with Narasimha Rao because in 1991, when Rajiv Gandhi was assassinated, she could not become Prime Minister because they did not have majority. So her family decided that she won't be able to manage a minority government. So they suggested she make some old, ailing Buddha as the Prime Minister, and in 6 months they will buy MPs and convert this into a majority, and then she can become the Prime Minister. But unfortunately, the day Narasimha Rao became Prime Minister, his health began to improve. And he began implementing economic reforms and getting support from all over the world. And there Miss Sonia Gandhi, upset, went and told him that at least he should give the Congress presidentship to him while retaining the Prime Ministership. He said, no, it has been a tradition from Jawaharlal Nehru that the Congress Prime Minister is also the President. I will not give. And that's why she targeted him. But anyway, that's a story that's over. But we did achieve this growth rate. In 1962, when the Chinese attacked India and then suddenly withdrew, I asked one of the topmost Chinese leaders in one of my visits, subsequently much later, why did you attack and why did you withdraw? And he told me in rare candor that we really thought, because the whole world was telling us this, that we give one knock to India, it will break into 20 countries. But instead we found the whole country united, and people were coming out in the streets and donating to the National Defense Fund. Women were taking out their jewelry and putting that into the baskets. So we saw this huge uprising of nationalism. May I tell you, this time also when these Chinese troops came 19 kilometers into India, the main reason the Chinese decided to go back is to see the huge uprising of national feeling. When I was fighting the emergency in which the Indian community played a big role in the 1975-77 period, most of the Indians said to me, this is a hopeless struggle. How can you expect the poor people of India to fight for democracy, care for democracy? And tomorrow she will hold the elections, she will spend the money, and the people will all vote for her. This is what people kept telling me. But what did we find? In 1977, Mrs. Gandhi declared an election, and the people voted her out. She herself lost her old elections, and the Janata Party came to power and was able to restore democracy. And surprisingly we find the less educated the portion of India, the more they voted against her. North India voted completely against her. Not a single seat Congress party got. But the educated South India, they voted for Indira Gandhi. So all these stories about India, which really spreads pessimism, are not true. I urge you therefore to look at what I am going to present in a positive frame of mind. That these are problems which we have got, and we got to find a solution. The first trend is the political trend, is the rising corruption. Corruption is not a question of somebody giving money and somebody taking money. It has multi-dimensional effect on the Indian economy. It's like a cancer. For instance, when you take money for some project, you are going to deliver a substandard product. Supposing you take money for giving a tender to somebody for building a road. That road will be built in such a way that one rainfall and the road will disappear. We build the best roads in the world outside India, Malaysia, Nigeria, Iraq. But we can't build good roads in India. Any foreigner would tell you that he hates to come to India because the infrastructure is poor. What infrastructure is poor? Roads are not there. Power, what is there in power? Electric power. We have power cuts, 10 hours, 11 hours in major cities. That's because of corruption. Then this money, that black money that comes into the hands of those who are corrupt, they can't build industries with it because the income tax will immediately see it. So they use it for luxury consumptions. Buy property, property value shoots up. No matter what crisis there is in India economic, property will never come down. Property values will never come down in India. You want to have the kind of blowout you had here in the subprime case. In India, even while the economic crisis was going on, property prices were going up. Because black money goes into it. Now property prices have risen so much that in cities like Bombay, a middle class cannot afford a flat, cannot buy a flat for even 20 lakhs. This is the impact of corruption. Then people buy luxury goods and all kinds of luxury goods. So what happens is the investor thinks, why should I invest in the common man's needs, such as cloth, such as chappals, or something like that? Let me invest in air conditioners. Let me invest in large size television sets. Let me invest in all these things which the rich buy, because then I will get 25% rate of return on my investment. So today, 70% of our investment is directly or indirectly going to produce luxury goods production and not the common man's goods. This is a total distortion of our investment priorities. People use black money to go to the wholesale, agricultural wholesale market, buy up, put it in cold storage, artificial shortage created, agricultural prices shoot up, then they sell and make a profit. But as a consequence, in India in the last few years, the agricultural prices have been fluctuating widely. Or they invest in stock market, which is also gone out of control. But the most important part of corruption is that the money that is deposited abroad. We have 70 lakh crores, or about $1.5 trillion in foreign bank accounts which are illegal. Imagine $1.5 trillion. That is the equivalent of 70 lakh crores. In our central budget, the total tax bill is 4.5 crores only. And because of corruption, we are losing revenue also. In the 2G spectrum scam, what is this 2G, 3G is going on? Most people don't know what it is. Even the Prime Minister did not know, I found out. I asked him one day, what is this 2G spectrum? He says, Sonia ji and Rahul ji. And that's all I need to know, he said. It is only the question of the airwaves, their frequency, and each generation produces more data to be sent. Originally the cordless phone could only take your telephone call. Now 2G came, you could send email, you can send SMS, you can send color photos, etc. 3G would mean that you can send videos. You pick up the phone, dial somebody, the other person picks up, he can see you, you can see them. It's almost live. 4G means 10,000 pages of documents can be sent. Now here, if we had auctioned the spectrum, because the price had gone up, Raja and Chidambaram together sold the spectrum for the price that prevailed in 2001. The price that prevailed in 2008 was 10 times that much. And yet they insisted on selling it at the price of 2001 and 2008, and the companies which got the license sold it to foreign companies at 8 times the price and got a bribe in it. That's why I went to the Supreme Court and said that this is all against public interest and all the licenses should be cancelled. And the first time in the history of the Supreme Court, 122 licenses were cancelled. Coal blocks were given away. They should have been auctioned. Had you auctioned it, you would have got 11 lakh crore rupees. That is 1.1 million crore rupees. Imagine how much money that is, considering that 4.5 lakh crores is the total tax budget. And subsidies bill is only 2 lakh crores. Here, because you didn't auction the coal blocks, you lost 11 lakh crores. Those oil fields which can give you crude oil, if you had auctioned it, you would have got 24 lakh crores. There is no shortage of resources in India. It is only your failure to use the market system that you have lost these resources. and it has gone and lined up pockets. And every day you find, recently I had to study this Jet Air Etihad deal. The whole deal is so designed that tomorrow there will be no Air India. And passengers going in and out of India will no more go out of India, in and out of India. They will have to go via Abu Dhabi. All this black money that comes, it goes abroad through the Hawala. Hawala means what? Means the agent will go fly to Dubai and there he will telephone his contact in Geneva that my client in India, minister, has given me so many thousand crores to put in Switzerland bank, so please put in dollars in his bank account, which pass number is so and so. And if anybody from there wants to come to India and get rupees, ask them to contact me. I have now got sacks and sacks of, now they call them containers, no more. Once upon a time you had black money in briefcase, then it became suitcase, then it became truck. Now they say money should come in containers because the amounts is all in thousands of crores. And what happens then? These agents, Dawala people in Dubai, cannot do any transaction unless they pay obeisance to Dawood Ibrahim and the ISI. That means Dawood Ibrahim and the ISI know which minister has how much money in which bank account and what is the password of that. And that is why our government is so scared of Pakistan. Pakistan will come, send terrorists, bomb it every day, will say, no, no, maintain peace, maintain, no retaliation. Why? Because they are afraid that tomorrow the Times of India will have a picture of the invoice from a Switzerland bank, which the Pakistanis will make it available. What Pakistan can't win on the battlefield, it is now won through these Hawala transactions. And that's why we are weak in everything. So this is the total effect of corruption and why we must eliminate corruption. Can it be eliminated? Of course it can be eliminated. The way to eliminate it is you must catch some people and send them to jail. And big people. I managed to send Raja to jail for at least custodial interrogation. He spent 15 months there. Now he will be convicted, he will go to jail for maybe 21 years. I tried to catch Chidambaram, but he slipped out of my hands. But now I've gone back to the Supreme Court because I have got indication that if at that time the Supreme Court had agreed with me, then the government would have fallen. And the Supreme Court is a little queasy about doing that. But now we are very close to the election. So July, August, you may hear that Chidambaram is going to jail. I have only one problem because this TR jail superintendent is a friend of mine. And he sent me a message. He told my friend, usko Swamy ko bolo, ye roz madrasi ko andar jail bhej raha hai. Raja, Kandimuri, Maran, now Chidambaram. So I said, what is wrong? He said, because they all come and demand masala dosa and vada. And our jail bawarchi only knows how to make aloo puri. So I said, tell him to learn something, get better training, because soon somebody will come and ask for pasta and spaghetti. So we must, that is possible, catching people. The laws are strong, you don't need new laws. You don't need Jan Lokpal bill and all that. The present laws are sufficient. And if you think that the CBI will not do an honest job, go for court monitoring. That's how we caught Bansal. That's how we caught Ashwini. You see, therefore, because they forced the change of the report of the CBI, and the Supreme Court fired them and insulted the CBI by saying you are all parrots in a cage, just repeating what the government wants you to say. So, therefore, the Indian laws are sufficient. Don't think that it is not sufficient. But we must get it implemented. And that's why everybody is nervous about Narendra Modi. Particularly Sonia Gandhi. She won't be sleeping tonight in Delhi. She tried very hard to stop his appointment, I can tell you that. Through all of their influence sources, contacts, industrial friends, every one of them were mobilized. But it didn't work. So that will have a good effect. Look at this country. They may not be able, there's plenty of corruption here too, not as much as India of course. But when they catch somebody, they don't let go. They caught Martha Stewart. Was it what her name was? Martha Stewart? For what? She was in a party, she overheard that some company is going to be sold. So she called up, went home and called up her broker and said, sell the shares of this company. And that was enough, said insider trading. And put her in jail for 6 months, in prison clothes. Similarly, you see, I had a friend in IIT whom I recommended to Harvard Business School. He was a brilliant student, he came, he did very well. He became head of Goldman Sachs, Rajat Gupta. He was at McKinsey, then he went to Goldman Sachs. He engaged in this. And he got caught because they were telephone tapping the other fellow, Rajaratnam, not because he was a corrupt Wall Street broker, because that power they don't have, but because he was suspected of terrorist connections, the LTT. So there's an exception under the Patriot Act that they used. And this man got caught. Prime Minister of India, Microsoft chairman, so many important people wrote to the judge, be lenient to him. He's a good man, made an indiscretion. What did the judge say in his judgment? If he was so eminent and so good and so highly placed, then he all the more deserves a strong punishment, because such people are examples to the world, and if we do not prosecute them, then there will be tomorrow a flood of corruption in the country. But in India, of course, fortunately I got into the fray, but for that Sunil Dutt, Sanjay Dutt, the former judge of the Supreme Court says, he acted in a film as Gandhi. What is acting in a film got to do with it? Therefore he should not be given. His father and mother are nice people, therefore they should not be given. He should not be sent to jail. But fortunately the mood is changed in India. And now I also ran a campaign, and finally Sanjay Dutt had to go to jail. So now we must ensure big people go to jail. And people don't like my using the word Gangotri of corruption, so I call it Congo-3, Congress O3. Congo-3 of corruption is Sonia Gandhi, and she has to be sent to jail because she has got 100,000 crores in a bank account abroad. 100,000 crores. She came from utter poverty. People tell me, oh, why are you so much against her? Poor woman, she wants to be a good Indian bahu. She wears a sari, she puts a tika, she does namaste. So I tell people, beware. Read Ramayana. What happened when Ravan came to kidnap Sita? How did he come dressed? Not as Ravan, but as a sannyasi in Bhagwa Kapda. And he fooled Sita, and Sita crossed the Lakshman Rekha. So I'm not going to be fooled by her dress. I have to go by what she's doing. So therefore I'm saying, first trend, this depressing trend, is corruption. It has widespread ramification. Don't be tolerant of this. Don't say everybody is corrupt. At least the people who have served in power. I am therefore pleased with the way the people in Karnataka voted, although BJP lost. But Congress vote did not increase 1%. BJP vote dropped 14%, and all of it, most of it, 9% of it went to Yedurappa, and 3% to, and 5% to Devagowda. But Congress did not get any vote, increase in vote. That means Congress has not been forgiven, but the BJP has been punished. In the process of vote division, they have come to power. If BJP makes amends, Karnataka will come back. So, therefore, I would say to you that don't, please use your influence with your relatives, your friends, those of you who have votes. Don't forgive those presently in power who commit corruption, on the ground that the other fellows are also equally corrupt. Keep changing. That's the best you think you can do. The message will go. Second thing which I want to mention is a dangerous trend, is this infiltration and conversion activities in India. Foreign missionaries are coming to India under the patronage of Sonia Gandhi, and they are trying to convert people to Christianity. Well, we are putting up a fight. They have not succeeded very much. But the infiltration from Bangladesh is huge. And the whole of Northeast is now practically become district after district majority Muslim. People ask me, are you against Muslims? I said, no, I'm not against Muslim. In fact, I appreciate the Muslim. Their mind is very clear. The problem is with the Hindus. Their mind is like Arjuna, sitting in the middle of the battlefield. Shall I kill or shall I not kill? And Krishna had to tell him why he has to kill. That Karna's chariot got stuck in the mud. So he got down to repair the chariot or pull the chariot out. So Krishna said, kill him now. So Arjuna says, I'm a Kshatriya. How can I kill a person who is kneeling down So then Krishna had to tell him, when your wife was being disrobed, did Karna think of morality then? So where is the question of morality? Kill him, because that's what he deserves to. He deserves to die. Now, this problem we Hindus have. I don't want any fight. But I have a problem with the Muslim community only in one respect. That where they are in majority, they are impossible. That is true. In Kashmir, they are in majority. The poor Kashmiri Pandit, what wrong they have done? They have been driven out. 5 lakhs living in refugee camp in your own country. This is not only Kashmir. You go to any district, Mau in Uttar Pradesh, now Meerut, Mallapuram in Kerala. There a Hindu cannot sell property to a non-Hindu, another Hindu. If you have property in Mallapuram and you want to sell, you have to sell it to a Muslim. Who paid the law? Municipality. But that's illegal. Municipality cannot make such laws. Only the state assembly can, but the state government has got no guts to challenge it. So, this is what happens. Even in small areas, in Tamil Nadu, the total Muslim population is 5%. And there is a town panchayat near Vellore, Mel Vishal. Yeah, he should know, Prakash Swamy. Yeah. Mel Visharam, where I visited. It's a small place, town panchayat is a small area, and 75% Muslim. Local bodies election take place, they get elected 100%. I mean, they all come in overwhelming, no Hindu can win. And for 20 years they have been telling the Hindus, and they're all scheduled castes, telling them, you convert, we will build your roads, we will remove your garbage, we will build your school buildings. Otherwise, no, nothing. 20 years these scheduled castes were petitioning MPs, MLAs, everybody. Nobody did anything. Finally they got hold of me. And I went there to see, because I didn't believe them. And I saw with my own eyes areas where the Hindus live in total poverty. And where the Muslims were there, a lot of development. So I went to the High Court. High Court first didn't believe me, then I gave the documents. And finally they gave direction to the governor, rectify it. Otherwise we will partition this town panchayat into Hindu village panchayat and Muslim village panchayat. And on that threat, the state government intervened and got it rectified. What the Muslims demand as a minority, they will not give you when they are in majority. Muslims demand separate marriage code. Muslims demand that they must have masjid, nobody should touch their masjid. Muslims demand Sharia. All this in India. But in Saudi Arabia, the Hindu workers who are there, they say, please let us celebrate Diwali. No, this is a Muslim country. Let us build one temple. No, this is a Muslim country. Can we recite Satyanarayan Puja inside our house? No. We find out, we'll go to jail. Can I put photograph of Ramchandraji in my pocket and go to work? No. That's un-Islamic. So they are in majority there, but they will not allow. But where they are in minority in India, they will go on demanding. There too Muhammad says very clearly, if the majority is not united, then go on demanding. But if the majority is solid, united, then surrender. That is called al-taqiyya in the in Sirah and Hadith. In Australia, one mullah, imam, said that I am not happy with the Uniform Civil Code in Australia because we want Sharia. So the Prime Minister was a lady. She said, if you want Sharia, go and look for another country. You will not get it here. Next day, all Muslim organizations sent a letter to the Prime Minister that this Imam is an idiot. He doesn't represent us. We are very happy with Uniform Civil Code. There is Uniform Civil Code in Australia, in the United States. Muslims are not complaining, but they will complain in India. Because you are united, not united, you are all Rasgullas. So that's the reason why they do it. So I am saying to you that you have to take this into account. I am not saying that Muslims should not wear beards or they should not recite the Quran. You can. But there are some fundamentals of nation building. And that can only be done if the Muslims acknowledge what is the truth. That their ancestors are Hindus. That your religion may change, but your culture should not change. All Muslims, if they accept that their ancestors are Hindus, then we will regard them as part of the Hindustan family. One day Farooq Abdullah told me, I am proud to say to you that my ancestors are Gaud Saraswat Brahmins. So I said, why don't you say it publicly? He said, are you mad? The mullah will kill me if I do that. Because the mullah believes this separateness, this segregation. That's necessary. I asked one Muslim one day when he was complaining to me of my pro-Israel stand. Hey, why are you objecting? He said, because they are killing Palestinians. I said, but isn't it a fact that Israel is giving us weapons? Israel is giving us scientific knowledge. Israel is helping us in agriculture. Israel is giving us know-how on how to fight terrorism. They have no common border with us, no dispute. Why should I be friends with them? They said, no. As Muslims, we cannot accept because they are killing Palestinians. That is, he regards himself as a Muslim first and a Hindu and then an Indian afterwards. This fever is now spreading to the rest of India. In Sri Lanka, there was a problem where there was a terrorism. The government took a strict stand and killed the leader. But in the process, many civilians died. You think that civilians don't die when other nations conduct war? What happened in World War II? Germany bombed Dresden, the town in Germany, and all the civilians were killed in that. What happened when the Americans dropped a bomb in Hiroshima and Nagasaki? How many civilians died? No army died there. When you are conducting a war, you cannot look at these niceties. So therefore, the entire Tamil population was trying to be mobilized to say, no, we will have no relations with Sri Lanka. Sri Lanka wanted to build a port and asked India's help. We said, Manmohan Singh said, no, DMK is not agreeable. So we didn't agree. So the Chinese said, why you fool, you're going to India? We will give you the money. And now the Chinese are sitting in Hambantota port in Sri Lanka, which is only 30 kilometers from the Rameshwaram shores. So we have to emphasize, whether you are Muslim or you are Tamil or you are Bengali or anyone, you have to be Indian first and then only a Bengali Muslim or and if there is a clash between Indian national interests and your sectional interests, the Indian national interest will prevail. I don't understand why the Muslims cannot accept that their ancestors are Hindus. I have seen so many studies of DNA published now in journals like the Cambridge Journal of Genetics, which show that Muslims and Hindus have the same DNA. In fact, North Indians, South Indians also have the same DNA. Brahmins and scheduled caste also have the same DNA. We are one people. We have not come from somewhere outside like the British told you. So we are one people living in this glorious land of Bharat Mata, and we should take ourselves to be that one. That psychology has to come. Otherwise, you see, there will be no conversion if we take this stand. All of us together say that we are all one, we are together. So these are the three major dangerous trends which we have to do something. I will tell you that if NDA comes, there are many things that we will do, which the previous NDA government did not do. First is, you have sent 5,000 Kashmiri Pandits driven them to the rest of India, and they are living in refugee camps. I cannot ask them to go back, because if they go back, they will be killed. But I also know that you have disturbed the religious demography of Kashmir. And Article 370 is to prevent disturbance of the religious demography. So you have flouted Article 370, and if you have flouted, I will also flout. And I will send back into Kashmir 10 lakhs ex-servicemen who can fight, give them weapons, give them money, and tell them go and settle in Kashmir, create the environment by which where the rest of the Kashmiri Pandits can come back. I recently went to Srinagar, as Kataria said, for a Janata Party meeting. It's all the personnel, President, General Secretary, everybody is a Muslim. They used to come to Delhi to tell me, please come. We want to be part of India, we don't want to be part of Pakistan. Particularly the women in Kashmir tell me this many times. But there's propaganda going on that India will, like it gave up Pakistan, it will also give up Kashmir. That is the terrorist propaganda. So you come there, because everybody knows your name and you speak your mind. So I went there, and there was big press, and press, of course, they can ask any question. They asked me, what about Azadi? So I said, what about Azadi? Azadi, you have Azadi, you can speak freely, you can walk freely, you know. What is this Azadi? No, we want independence. He said, how? He said, by plebiscite. He said, plebiscite? Why? He said, because Jawaharlal Nehru promised us plebiscite. So I said, then go and ask Jawaharlal Nehru for plebiscite. So one pressman said, how can we go to meet Jawaharlal Nehru now? He's dead and gone. So I said, then go and ask a terrorist to send you to Jawaharlal Nehru. He will send you. Jawaharlal Nehru took this decision without cabinet approval. Therefore, it is not binding on us. 450 kingdoms were merged into India by Sardar Patel. None of them there was any question, because the British Act of Parliament says that once the king signs the accession, he does not have to take the permission of his people or ascertain the wishes of his people. And once he signed it, it is final. Merger is a one-way process. It can't be reopened. If we agree for Kashmir, we'll have to agree for 450 kingdoms that have merged into India. So therefore, we can't compromise on Kashmir. We have to get back the remaining portion, which is Azad Kashmir. Can you get it back? Well, Pakistan is going into the hands of Taliban. This man who's now the new Prime Minister, he's a nominee of the Taliban. And Taliban will declare war on India, because they say that the unfinished chapter, because everywhere else 100% Muslim it became, but not India. This is our manhood is at stake. So they want to declare war on India. That's the time you will get. Break up Pakistan into 4 bits if it's necessary. You know, you'll be surprised that recently Karzai, the president of Afghanistan, came to India, told Manmohan Singh, Americans are leaving, please send the Indian army to take over Afghanistan. So Manmohan Singh, no, I can't do that, you tell me something else. So Karzai said, in that case, please give me a house in Delhi so that I can live here. Because he used to live there as a student also in India. In the old days when the Soviets had taken over Afghanistan. Our neighbors who are afraid, they invite us, but we don't stand up for them. So that outlook we have to change. Same thing with Bangladesh. 1/3 of Bangladesh is coming to India. And have converted large areas into Muslim majority areas. Well, how do you send them away? They said, no, catch them and send them across. No, once you send them across, they come back. No, post more police. Well, all the police get bribed. So that's not what. So the only way is to explain to Bangladesh that partition was created on one principle, that those Muslims who cannot bear to live with Hindus, they must get a separate land. On that basis, Pakistan was created. And out of that came Bangladesh. Now, having created Pakistan and now Bangladesh, the same Muslims decide to come back to India to live with Indians. Now, what does that mean? The partition is undoing a partition. So we should tell Bangladesh, you take your people back or give us 1/3 of your territory, because that is all Indian territory. In fact, if you draw a line in the map of Bangladesh from Khulna to Sylhet, the top part is 1/3. These are retaliations we have to do. Otherwise, people will keep on taking pot shots at us. I'll end my talk with the 2 favorable trends which we should maximize. One is, we have the youngest population of all large countries of the world. Average age of an Indian is 28. Average age of a Chinese is 37. Average age of an American is 38. Average age of a European is 48. Average age of a Japanese is 50. They are aging populations. Ours is a young population. And everybody knows that young people going to universities and coming out of universities, they are the ones who innovate, who bring new practices. All the inventions you see have been by young people. And therefore, if we can educate this huge young population of 600 million or more, and give them first-class education, then in my opinion, India will get huge amount of innovations. We are already capable. We were capable before also. Rocketry was discovered in India, it's only afterwards it went to the West. Calculus, numbers, zero, decimal, surgery, plastic surgery, everything was invented in India. We are capable. Even today, in Japan there is a prize called Deming Prize, because there was a professor in Harvard called Deming, Richard Deming, who invented quality control, statistical quality control. So in his honor they have created a quality control prize called Deming Prize for automobile ancillaries. And every year India wins the first prize. How do you explain that? All countries compete, but nowhere near India. Every year some company from Tamil Nadu wins that prize. We are producing quality. Similarly, in software in this country, there is a rating called SCI CMM or CMM SCI. CMM. 1 to 5. We have 36 companies who qualified for rating 5. Americans only 16. Chinese only 1. So where Indians are required to perform, they perform. The native intelligence is there. And therefore, we have to expand on this. I would say the new government which is coming in 2014 should turn India's education into world-class education. Already people from Africa, Asia and all, they come to India IITs. They say, oh, we get top education for 1/60th of the price we pay in the United States. Why should you go to India? They are foreigners are flocking to our hospitals. These are the plus sides of Indian story. We hear so much about corruption, we hear so much about filth, so much about rape and this and that. But this also is going side by side. And we have to accentuate it, we have to bring it up. Build a strong infrastructure and bring a strong university system. This young population will deliver the goods for the country. The second trend is our country is today a symbol of democracy. I mean, it's not a perfect democracy, but everywhere else democracy is not working. I mean, I'm talking about Asian countries and African countries. We need to strengthen this, because democracy produces independent thinking. Democracy is the only system which is compliant to a market system, and market system is the only thing that will produce economic results. So this strength we have of democracy, we should now further it and strengthen it. It can't be done by Congress. It can't be done with Sonia Gandhi in the leadership. She has already reduced the Prime Minister of India to pulp, you see. Everybody says that poor Manmohan Singh, why you are so harsh on him? What he can do? I said he is sitting on a chair which is called the Prime Minister's chair. Just so much power. And he is not doing anything. So they said, why? He's your friend, why don't you tell us why not? So then I give them a story of a circus. When I was a boy, I went to a circus and with my father, and I saw 5 strong, well-fed lions inside a pen. And a thin, wiry ringmaster walks in. He shuts the door and cracks the whip and says, climb up. And all the lions climb up on a bench. Then he says, open your mouth. And they all open their mouth and he puts his head in each one of them. And everybody claps. Now I was thinking as a boy, why don't these lions kill him? And they just watch. So I asked my father, he told me from the time they're pubbed, they are prepared, they are developed that way, to obey orders. And that comes natural. They don't know their strength. Manmohan Singh's problem is the same. In fact, his name is Singh, which means lion, but only circus lion. He sees Sonia and he says, salute. So this is the character question. Why are they so much against Narendra Modi, this Sonia Gandhi and company? Because he doesn't fit into this Indian model she has, that they will all fall in line. Even to this today's speech that I saw, he has attacked them. All other politicians are afraid to attack her. I mean, with my exception, of course. But why? And she's got used to it. So I am saying to you today, we need a new mindset. And a new mindset where we act according to our strength, our position. We are a strong country, we have huge numbers, and therefore we must act. This is the mental liberation that we must bring through our education system. Well, I am 100% certain that the next Lok Sabha election, whatever they may say, I've seen it in the emergency, I saw it when the 1977 elections took place, recently in Tamil Nadu when after the 2G there was an election, people are saying Karunanidhi will spend 6,000 rupees per vote and all, which he did. Gave free laptops and air conditioners and all kinds of things. But people took it all and voted against him and he was defeated. Our people have that sense. So I am 100% certain that this government will go, and if Modi is not obstructed in his campaign by something or the other, he's given a free hand to speak, then I can say I wouldn't be even surprised in this present situation that the BJP alone will get absolute majority. That's it. And there's no harm in speaking about Hindutva, because we are not saying that everybody should become Hindu. Hindutva means Hindu-ness. Hindu-ness means what? Many things, interpersonal relations. The way a mother behaves to her children is different from the way mothers behave to children here. Husband behaves to his wife. Children behave to their parents. So all this, you see, we are different. And we have one very, very good quality which we are losing, which is part of our Sanatan Dharma. And that is a healthy attitude towards wealth. That's going. Ours was never a one-dimensional society, more prosperity, more material welfare. No, that's not ours. We have divided a society where the highest may mean poverty. When I came as a student to this country, first time to get my PhD, my American friends asked me, how can you people follow Mahatma Gandhi who is not properly dressed? I said, in your country, leaders have to be properly dressed. He said, absolutely. His tie must be in place, his coat must be excellent, his shoes must be shining. In fact, Nixon lost the election because he didn't shave for the evening. Yes, it's there in the Theodore White book, Making of the President. So that is how even their religious leaders cope, satin gown, diamond necklace, ruby necklace, so on. But look at our sadhus. They may have, there are thousands and thousands, lakhs and lakhs of people following them. They have one bhagwa kapada, that's all. Same color, same, every day same color, whether it's Ramdev or Swami Dayanand Saraswati. Okay, so Shri Shami Shankar is only white, that's the only difference. I've been to these people's ashram and I found large number of rich Americans there. And I asked them, why are you here? We come in search of happiness, mental peace. And they ultimately, all of them in the ashram, they get it. A Hollywood actress by name Julia Roberts, I think you all would have heard of her name. I'm not taking too much time.
No, you take your time. Absolutely.
All right, I'm not going.
Today is Sunday.
Okay. So this Julia Roberts came to Haryana for a shooting. Then she said, I have to go to such and such ashram. So they took her there, and there the ashram chief, whose name I won't give you, said, what brings you? She said, I am a very famous actress. I have won so many Oscars. I have millions of dollars in my bank accounts. But I am not happy. And I was told that in India I can find the way to happiness. So he said, I can't give you in capsule form like this. You stay here for 1 week. So she stayed there and he taught her pranayam, yoga, habit of getting up at 4 a.m. in the morning, then Gita, all this, and at the end of 1 week, she was a transformed woman. She felt happy. She went back. It's all in Google. She went back to Hollywood, held a press conference with her son, with her 2 children and her husband by the side, and said, at last I found happiness thanks to Hinduism. So therefore I and my husband and 2 children are from today onwards become Hindus. That's what she said. You don't have to become Hindus to take these practices. But this is what it is. See. We have venerated people when they have sacrificed, when they have knowledge, and even the kings had to bow before the Brahmins or the spiritual gurus. And it was not by birth. Brahmins were not by birth. Veda Vyasa, who wrote the Mahabharata, his mother was a fisherwoman. Kalidasa was a hunter in the forest cutting wood. Valmiki, who wrote the Ramayana, his mother and father were Dalits. The Rishi of Rishis for us, Vishwamitra, his parents were Kshatriyas. And if a Brahmin committed a wrong, he would be punished. Ravan was a Brahmin. How many people know that Ravan was a Brahmin? He was born near Delhi, in Noida, what is called Noida now. His wife was born in Mandodari. He went to Mansarovar, he prayed to Lord Shiva. You know Lord Shiva, he is Bholanath. He gave him a boon. With that he went, he knew that his cousin Guber had transformed Sri Lanka into a heaven. So he went there, conquered it, took it over and became the king of Lanka. And this Karunanidhi fool, he did not know. And he used to hold Ravan Leela. While North India was holding Ram Leela, he said, no, I will hold Ravan Leela. Later on he came to know that he was a Brahmin, so he has now stopped holding Ravan Leela. Now this is how our mind has been distorted. So I think one of the things a new government should do is give a new mindset to our people. A positive mindset. Yes, we can overcome. Yes, we can become a global power. We were a global power once upon a time. What is the difficulty in becoming again? We have all the potential. There is no shortage of potential in India. Look at agriculture. Cheapest producer of agricultural products in the world is India, even today. But our productivity is poor, the yield per acre is low. The farmers get such low prices that they cannot invest. Price of rice in Japan is 7 times that of India. And that's a rice producing country. Price of milk in Europe is 15 times the price of milk in India. And we don't export milk. And we've got 150 million cows. Each cow only on the average giving 200 liters per year. One Israeli cow in average gives you 11,000 liters per year. Imagine how much milk there would be if 150 million cows gave you the Israeli average. We'll flood the world with milk. 12 months of the year you can do agriculture in India. That's the weather. In America, 5 months is snow. Europe, 4 months is snow. There's snow in most parts of China also. So they cannot do agriculture full time. But we can do. That means we can grow 3 crops a year. But only we grow 25% of the land, we grow more than 1 crop. Our agricultural council, agricultural research institutes on experimental plots with the existing technology is producing experimentally 8 times as much the Indian farmers producing per acre. So if they can do it, the whole country can do it. But this requires focus. Why is it that Gujarat is having an agricultural growth rate of 11% when the rest of India is having only 2%? There is no explanation they can give. They will talk about all other things like Vadra. As if what they did in Delhi was the Salvation Army's work. So I am saying today India is full of potential, bursting to go ahead. It requires a confident people who decide that they will take risk, but they will strive to make India a great country. You are very well placed here, because we need the Americans, I must tell you, whatever may be their other minuses, but we need the Americans for their technology. We need the Americans for their fact that they are global reach, the fact that they are a democratic country, the fact that they are nice to Indians. I think it would be right to say that the Americans are nice to Indians. You know, the Indians are not welcome in many places, but here I find by and large Indians are welcome, they get employed, they rise to high places. So we want the American market. The Chinese have used that market very successfully. So you are here today in a strategic location. So don't be just good software engineers or good a businessman or buy up the motels of this country, but enter into their political power structure and be proud Indians. Like he said, you know, I don't want to change my name from Krishna to Chris. I say I am. And you should say that, like the Italians here in this country, the Irish in this country, and the Jews in this country, all accept their connections with the parent country. We are good American citizens, we are good Americans, and we will be always loyal to America first, but that doesn't mean we cannot play a role for our ancestral land like the others do, and enter the political process here, for which Mr. Kumar has already done tremendous work. He's practically captured the Republican Party in one sense. I mean, I don't want to embarrass you, but the fact is that he has got that kind of thing. He took a whole delegation to Gujarat. So the same way more people should get in, and more of you should become congressmen, even municipal dog catcher if necessary, or district attorney. Join the police. Many people should join the police. Police is a very important part of the system here. And thereby you will be able to help us in India to coordinate better with the United States. Today, a handful of left-wing people, thoroughly discredited now, they managed to have the visa of Mr. Narendra Modi cancelled. Who are they? This Angana Chatterjee, who has now been fired from her job because she did all kinds of corruption by a faculty vote of 18-0. And the other is Tisa Setalwad, who will be definitely in jail for perjury one of these days. These are the people who have influenced the American Commission for Religious Freedom. The same way you are much better placed, you are much better occupied, you please see that the American power structure hears your voice and you become part of it. I would like in some time in the future to set up an institute in India to train good politicians. Politicians who will go to court like I have done, politicians who can fight, politicians who can marshal cyber information and tell the people the truth. You know, new articulate people. They've got really good people. I've seen this in Twitter. Very young, dynamic people. I just have to say, I'm in search of this information. Within 5-6 hours, somebody will tweet that go into this link and you will get the information. I caught P. Chidambaram's son, Karthik Chidambaram, in a matter which is now under investigation in the Supreme Court. By just tweeting, how many companies does Karthik Chidambaram, son of P. Chidambaram, have? And somebody just gave me all the 14 companies that he has, the shareholding, etc. I mean, therefore our people have got capacity, but we need now in politics such people. And for that, you know, you should train people how to get into politics and how to stay in politics as an independent personality, not as somebody's chamcha or somebody's camp follower. That I think over the years would have to be a joint effort between you and us in India. And I'll get back to this subject much later. But let's first get a transformation of the government and start India on the rebuilding process to national greatness, international greatness. Thank you very much.